All right. So you might be listening while you're in the tractor checking cattle, putting up hay, or simply driving between one custom job to another. Hey, really appreciate you taking the time to spend a part of your moment, part of your day with me right now as I record this. It's in the middle of the summer, or maybe you might be listening to this and it's in winter and you're hoping it was the summer. However, every operation seems to be dealing with something quite different. And some areas have been praying for rain. Others have had so much rain. You're probably wondering when you're going to be able to get back into the field. And some crops are looking super fantastic. I know that this particular year in the western side of Canada, it's been so much rain that I think there's a lot of you who will be claiming insurance this year. So whatever challenges you might be facing, no one could have predicted that a few months ago. So if farming and ranching teaches us anything, it's that we cannot control every season. We can only prepare for them. And that got me really thinking about something much bigger than the weather. Today, I want to ask you all one simple question, is that do you have a financial system? And a lot of people would probably say no. But I actually really disagree. I think that every family and every operation has one. And the real question isn't, do you have one? The real question actually ought to be, did you intentionally build your financial system? Or did it just simply happen over a period of time? Every operation has a way in which the money moves through it. And some of you might say, hey, we'll figure it out when we get there. Some of you might say, if we need the money, we're going to go to the bank and borrow it. Some of you might say, hey, we've got plenty of equity, but actually we don't have enough cash. Some of you might say, we're too busy running the operation to really sit down and look at the finances right now. Some of your financial systems really look organized, but only one person really actually understands it. Mom knows one part, dad knows another, the accountant knows something else, the lawyer knows something else, and then the lender knows something, and then maybe the kids know nothing, or maybe the kids know it and you don't know anything. Some families and operations don't even involve the next generation until they want to retire, or something happens like illness, or someone passes away. One of our clients that we serve, unfortunately, ended up dealing with their partner having an illness and took a lot out of that individual. And by the time their partner passed away, they lost all ambition to continue doing any sort of farming. And that put a lot of downward pressure on the kids. It was a lot sooner than they had anticipated. When something like that happens, everyone's just expected to just get on the horse and figure it all out, right? So none of those situations make anyone bad at money. It just simply reveals that the financial system that's currently in place needs to have another look. It just needs to have another set of eyes or another go around, another assessment. When I think about financial systems, I often think back to my childhood, and my parents were born in China and immigrated to Canada as adults in search of a better life, as most immigrants do. And I was born in Southern Alberta as a first-generation Chinese Canadian. And like most immigrant families, my parents worked pretty hard. They worked 2 or 3 jobs at a time. And in fact, they worked so much, they were honestly rarely ever home. And looking back now, I understand why. They were doing everything that they could to provide for a family and create opportunities that they didn't have for themselves, like all of us do, whether we have immigrated here or not. Yet growing up, I noticed something that really stayed with me. And even though my parents and so many other parents around us worked tirelessly, money still seemed to bring a ton of stress and uncertainty. And so there was always just another bill, another loan, another financial challenge. And what stayed with me the most was just realizing that financial struggle costs more than just money. It costs time, it costs life energy, it costs peace of mind. And more than 50% of the time, it even costs relationships. And as a teenager, I began asking myself a question. Why do so many hardworking people struggle financially, even when they're doing everything they've been taught to do? That question became even more personal after I left home at 15. And in my early 20s, I became a mom. And at that time, I was earning $9 an hour, carrying debt, paying bills, and doing everything that I could to provide for my daughter. And we were surviving. and we definitely were not thriving. And that season taught me something I've never forgotten. Hard work is definitely essential, but hard work alone is really not enough. Many people work incredibly hard, yet they have never been shown a financial system that allows their effort to create lasting financial security. Let me say that again. Many people work incredibly hard, yet they've never been shown a financial system that allows their effort to create lasting financial security. So looking back, I also realized my parents were navigating language barriers, cultural barriers, and a financial system they did not fully understand. And they did their very best that they could with the information that they had. And that realization really changed my perspective forever. So instead of blaming everyone else for financial struggles that we might be experiencing, I just really became fascinated by the systems behind money, the systems that the wealthy used. And that journey eventually led me to the infinite banking concept. Not because I was looking for another financial product, but because I was searching for a better financial system and a better way to think about money. The more farm and ranch families I've had the privilege of working with and speaking to, the more I realized something else. All your stories are not the same as mine, but the questions often are the same. You're working incredibly hard, you're making sacrifices, you're building something for the next generation, and yet many families still carry that stress that they wish that they didn't, not because they lack the work ethic, not because you all lack the intelligence, but because many are operating within financial systems that were inherited rather than ones that were intentionally designed. That's just one of the reasons Lacey and I work so well together. Lacey grew up on a ranch. Agriculture shaped her life from the very beginning. And I've spent my career studying financial systems and helping families gain greater clarity, confidence, and control over their cash flow. And together we bring two different experiences to the same conversation, because whether you're raising cattle, growing crops, running a business, or raising a family, the goal is all remarkably very similar: to build something that actually creates opportunities for the next generation. That the scenery might be different, but the mission is still the same. What am I attempting to say here? One thing I've really learned is this: every financial system produces the results it was designed to produce. And sometimes that means peace of mind. Sometimes it's flexibility. Sometimes opportunity. Sometimes it produces stress, or it produces confusion, cash flow challenges. It could produce family conflict. But all the same, especially in the negative experience, the good news is the systems can be redesigned because it's not permanent. What you're doing right now with your money isn't permanent. So if you're not happy with what's going on, it can change. So as you're finishing your task, your chore, your day, I'd encourage you to think about a few questions. Did you intentionally build your family's financial system? Did you intentionally build your operations financial system? Or did it simply just evolve over time? Does it support today? Does it support the future that you're wanting to create? Does your current financial system make life easier for the next generation? Or is it making it more complicated? Does your financial system give your family greater control or leave important decisions in someone else's hands? And most importantly, is your financial system producing the life you're working so hard to build? So if what I'm talking about made you stop and think, that's exactly why Lacey and I have these conversations, not because we believe there's only one way to do things, but because we really believe that every family deserves the opportunity to intentionally design a financial system that reflects their values, supports your goals, and gives you greater confidence for your future. Again, we all know that we can't control Mother Nature, the markets, and definitely not the interest rates, but you can become more intentional about the financial system your family operates within. So I'm so glad we got this time together. And until next time, please do take care of yourselves, your families, and your operation. And remember, everyone already has a financial system. The question is whether it's one you intentionally designed.
So glad you leaned in with us on the Win A podcast. We truly hope you're feeling more informed and empowered to take another step towards optimizing your financial life. Right now, make sure you hit subscribe so you can keep growing and learning with us. Until next time, we wish you prosperity in every area of your life.